afternoon. Um, so, my name is Rajiv. I work for the company called Collapse. Basically, I'm an Android developer. So, we are developing a mobile app for the enterprise asset management solution. Let's talk about this Gobot. So, what is Gobot? Gobot is a framework which is written on Go programming language to control the robots and drone and physical hardware devices.
So, my name is Gaurav. I work along with Rajiv. Currently, I'm on a sabbatical for kind of like 4 months. Um, okay, so I also help in running the Go meetup. So that's pretty much like the update. Why we are here is because we both love Go, we both love IoT. We have had projects in IoT, and we wanted to talk about how Gobot as a framework helps us. So this talk is pretty much going to cover that. So let me start with what Gobot is, right? Like, I think Rajiv pretty much covered it, but just to get deeper into it, Gobot is not platform specific. It's very generic to multiple platforms. Like it has, I think, support for 34 platforms or something. It's developed by the Hybrid Group. They're based out of LA. Some of the other works which they worked on was Cyclone.js, GOT, and R2. R2 is working with Go, working with IoT in the Ruby land. Cyclone is if you're working with IoT in the JavaScript land. So people who are not into Go also might have heard of Hybrid Group.
So we to show the demo, we choose the Raspberry Pi because we done a lot of IoT related stuff in Raspberry Pi for this availability. And what is Raspberry Pi? So Raspberry Pi is a single board computer. So you can see here. Of, so it's a single board computer. It has a I/O and Ethernet connection, inbuilt RAM, GPU, CPU. So everything will be in a single board.
I think many people would be
Yeah. So before that, I just want to tell about this GPIO pins. What is GPIO? GPIO is like it's a general purpose input and output pins. So if you want to communicate with the external hardware device, you should know about this GPIO pins. So to connect your hardware device based on your interface, you can choose the pins and you can communicate through this ports. So there are few interfaces are available with this Raspberry Pi. So UART, so Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter, and the second one is like it's SPI. So SPI is a serial port interface bus. Shall I continue?
Yeah.
So diving into the bot, I'll tell a few of the concepts there in the GoBot. The first one is adapter. So the adapter is nothing but GoBot will can communicate with different devices like this Raspberry Pi, Arduino, so a lot of other drones like DJI and AR drone. These kind of drones it can communicate. So this adapter will help you to communicate with the external devices. So they have written a wrapper around the Go, and through this adapter you can communicate. Next one is driver. You know driver, right? So usually the driver will be like if you want to communicate with any hardware, um, this driver will help you to communicate with the hardware devices. So this Go in Go itself, they have written a driver to communicate with the hardware devices. And the fourth one is robot. The robot is an abstract layer, and like we will use this robot and to write our code to do the task on the external, physical devices. So we can, connect many devices and we can control over this bot. So I'll give it to
So,
Gaurav for blinker.
yeah, till now everything was theoretical. We'll show a simple blinker example. So, not all the LEDs are going to light up right now. It's just so I'm inside the Raspberry Pi right now. I've already SSH into it. My code is there. I'm just going to run the simple blinker command. I think I didn't pull the code. I'm just pulling the code. Yeah, doesn't be visible. I think I didn't add it in the song. Okay, so demo issues. Actually, let me just copy it from the example, which is there on Gobot. So that would be faster, I guess. Yeah. All right. So the blinker example is running. You'll see one of the LEDs blinking. It's not a great example. I can walk you through the code really quickly. So pretty much all the concepts which Rajiv has already covered are in this example. So you have the Raspberry adapter. So for each platform, Gobot provides its own adapter. You have a different adapt. So the number of platforms which are supported are Arduino, BeagleBone, Bluetooth LE, Chipro. You can find the entire list over here. It supports even Leap Motion, some of the pretty cool different adapters which are there. It has support for OpenCV, Spiro, Raspberry Pi, Pocket Beagle, Pebble, and all those. Apart from that, we had the drivers. So for this example, we are using the GPIO pins, and we have the GPIO driver for LED, which is what is being used in this code right here. So this one would be the same. So you see the adapter is being passed in Raspberry. We are selecting the 7th pin on the GPIO board, and there's a work function. So a robot is nothing but a collection of devices which does some work. So the way you access the devices within that work function is kind of awkward right now. It's not the best because so you have the function which takes an LED, but the LED scope is coming out from here. You can internally access using the robot. You get a robot handler, and you can actually access the devices which are part of the robot. But right now for this example, they actually access the LED directly. So it's kind of like awkward still. So here you see that the robot is started perpetually. It keeps running. Is it visible? Okay, awesome. It's just a blinking LED in case it's not visible. So that's pretty much the blinker example which we had. We'll go deeper into some of the concepts, why we like Gobot in particular in the rest of the slides. So yeah, okay. Here was a code. Okay, so this is different. So this is pretty much the same code, but with a different adapter. So there is a formatter adapter which is for Arduino. So pretty much, if you look at it, the code is same. It's just that the adapter has changed. That's it. That's all you'd have to change if you're working with different platforms. So some of the advanced concepts we will be covering would be special thanks to Dhruva Sagar, one shout out because Dhruva is one of Tarkan's. He works from Bangalore and he has been building this cool project called RPI CCT. So he has two stepper motors and he's controlling this. So he came in yesterday and helped us in figuring out some of the slides and the content related to Go. So command. So each robot can take in. Sorry. So it's not just robot. Each device, robot, master, and API can take in a command. A command is nothing but something to do. So for example, with the LED, it was the toggle. So toggle is kind of like a command to that. Apart from command, we have master. So Raspberry, so okay, not Raspberry Pi. So Gobot has the concept of master, where all of your robots, all of your individual robots which you have designed, they can be part of one single master, and you can control multiple robots using one single master. So you can expose an API out of it. I'll be talking about the API, HTTP API, in the next demo. Yeah, let's talk more. Let me fill this. I guess I have the other code here. So I have the Gobot light up initialize. So this is so it shows that hey, I'm lighting up uh, these 8 LEDs which are on my breadboard. Now what I'm going to so this demo is kind of contrived in a sense. Okay, so the way it works is it's an order of magnitudes. Every 10th position, it would light up each new LED. So if I send in a count of 0, it won't light up any of the LEDs. This is just a very contrived example. 1000 would light up 3 of the LEDs. 10,000 would light up 4 of the LEDs. Basically, orders of magnitude. And this is all done over the HTTP call. So it's all being controlled over HTTP. Let's look at the code probably, especially what Gobot provides us. So we have a new master being created over here. A new API is designed. So we have debug set because yeah, we make a lot of mistakes. So pretty much the code over here is similar to what we had in the other place, except this function. So we have kept the work function empty. Instead of adding a work function, we would be adding a master function, a command to the master. So the command to the master is basically a set count. So whenever we get, so from the params, whatever count we get, we will pass in the LEDs and the count, and basically if the order of magnitude is based on the order of magnitude, we'll be turning on the LED on or off. In the end of the main function, we pretty much start up the master, and there's like boilerplate code to set up the LED array and all that. So that's how the code looks like. When you look at it, you don't actually see where the HTTP code is actually generated, right? You don't see where you're writing that. So just to emphasize on it, you have the API such that you have API slash command slash setcon, which is started off. So what Gobot API does is it starts up a server. Whenever you use API, it starts up a server, and at runtime, it basically queries master for its JSON structure. Let me know if the code is not visible. If it's here it is. So it uses PAT internally. Starts up a HTTP server. So this is all Gobot code. This is not code which we have written. This is all internals of Gobot. You have all the RESTful API options over here. So yes, over here. So this is the start command, right? What Gobot uses. So what so when we do a API.start, this is what gets run. So it picks up commands from MCP. Um, it picks up commands from all of the robots. It picks up commands. So MCP is basically the master. So anytime you're working with API, you need to have a master. You have robots. Each robot has a command. Each devices has a command. So you can even associate commands to devices. So for example, over here, I'm looking at the LED driver code, the GPIO LED driver, which I was using to make a LED blink. So even this one has commands defined on it over here. So whenever you create a new LED, it adds a command called brightness, and then sets up params on it, and basically does what it needs to do on that command. So it basically calls toggle on it. So interestingly, if you look at API, it exposes pretty much everything your IoT device is connected to, everything your robots are connected to, everything your master, every robot your master is connected to. All of that is exposed out as API. So that was pretty much what we had to cover. There is so the code and slides are available on GitHub. One thing about Gobot which we found limiting was that there is no security and fine-grained control over the API. Like everything is exposed. Um, exactly, like the S in IoT, like the S of security in IoT. Okay, so one thing which was lacking in Gobot was documentation and tests around the entire thing. So last week there was this breaking change which happened in one of the downstream dependencies, upstream dependencies. Sorry, so it just had one silly little change and it broke Gobot. Any new installation of Gobot. So those are some places where you can contribute in Gobot. I think we would like a better demo. Anyone wants a better demo? And so, okay, let me first run the code. Perhaps let's see if it works. I guess it should. Okay. So it basically it's like Christmas lights. It's just running and toggling all the LEDs, whichever it can find. It runs. So the code for it is written in Ruby. I still like Ruby. Thing is, I've not written any new code apart from what's already there in the Blinker, in the Gobot lighter. So the main.go. So it's as is. It's just that all the API which is exposed, now I'm accessing that alone over Ruby. So again, security wise, it's not ideal for you to expose all your hardware tools outside to the outside world. I would not recommend this practice. One other alternative would be to write your own APIs. Like you can use something like Mux or even normal HTTP APIs, and you can control them. You can start your robots in as part of those APIs and keep them running, and send commands to those robots. That's one step. Yeah, that's pretty much.
You can show the global server.
Oh, yeah. So apart from the API itself, so this is my Raspberry Pi IP, and this is the port 3000 where Gobot starts up a API whenever you start. So this UI is powered completely by Gobot. So it provides me a visual access to all the robots there are. So I've named my robot orders of magnitude ON, basically, for the example, and each device gets its unique ID identifier, and you can basically from here you can set any value on it. Like for example, I can turn that off first, and then
Auto detected or you have to manually adjust?
which one?
LEDs. If you remove something right now,
Mhm.
will it be detected?
No, actually, that's so. You don't get any. It's not a duplex communication. It's just electrical wires, right? So you don't actually get any communication with that. So I could connect something completely different, like a light switch on it, and it would still work. But the thing is, I hope it's not a on one. I'll probably use toggle command. I'm not sure which LED that is. Yeah, I'll do that. Right, is this over now? Okay, this still works. Just for some reason from the web UI, I'm not able to run it. I'm probably doing some mistake over there. So yeah, usually you can. I tried this morning as well. I was able to do that from the web UI. Some stuff which we haven't covered as part of this talk would be events. So Gobot even supports events from your like for example, if you have a button, physical button connected, you'd get a notification, a event handler back. Like with the LED, there is no feedback which you would get back. Whereas with something like a switch, so there are yeah button drivers. So there's a GPIO button driver which basically listens on any signal changes on the on button presses, and you can subscribe to them. You can publish. You can so your robots can also publish their own events. Other robots can subscribe to it. They can all communicate over this PubSub model. Apart from this, you also have other helper methods, helper functions like timers, every, after. So every was used in the Blinker demo. Numbers, testing. So there are test cases which you can write. But that's pretty much it, I guess. So in terms of API coverage, it's not extensive, but in terms of the number of platforms supported by Gobot, I think you can find almost everything under the umbrella over here. That's pretty much it. Any questions?
So, would you consider a button as a driver or a robot?
It's a drive.
Then, can you go back to the
So,
site
okay.
where you say publish subscribe?
So robot is anything which is like a collection of devices. It's a concept which you create. It's not anything physical. So robot is a collection of devices where you can so any combined behavior, you can add a command to it. Like if you're controlling 10 devices at the same time, and you want a command across those 10 devices, you can add it into a driver, and you can control that particular driver, that particular robot, and that in turn controls all the other drivers. So there's concept of devices and drivers in Gobot. So they are pretty much identical. If you even look at the code, they are inherited from each other. So a device is basically a driver, and an LED driver is actually, so the way inheritance works, right? You just have to implement all the functions of the interface. That way, that's how you design a LED driver. So you can add your own drivers if you want, connections and all that. Any other questions? None? Anyways, we'll take the questions after. Anyways. Alright, cool. Thank you guys. I have a few announcements.